Mohocola stands for Missouri Homegrown Community Leaders.
The Mohocola program was started when state officials saw that there were certain problems in small communities all across the state of Missouri. We are granted money at the beginning of every year, and it's a 5-year program.
It's a great way to build leadership. It's a great way to make new friends. It's a great way to give back to your community. And it's just a great way to serve other people and make life better for other people.
The issue our team has been issuing is poverty in Barton County. And off of poverty, we've actually gone into a little bit of hunger and address that. And we've done different projects with hunger and poverty.
We are working towards children liking school better and being able to understand it, because so many kids have learning disabilities.
I think it was 3 years ago, since we didn't have a 4-H chapter, our FFA officer panel sat down and they decided that hunger was an issue in our community. And so from there, they decided they were going to do something about that.
The project we started out with was the Buddy Backpack Meals. That is where we pack the food for the kids on the weekend, so they have stuff to eat at home, because on school days they can eat breakfast and lunch at school, but when they're at home, some of them, they can't eat on weekends. We've also done a personal hygiene, like getting personal hygiene items for people in need of that. And then we're also doing the community gardens. Right now we're actually trying to get more community gardens. So we've actually bought more beds and we're working on trying to get them in place. We built a sidewalk in memoriam of our Barton County agronomist, Rick Mammon. And we have a stone in the middle of our sidewalk saying in memoriam of Rick Mammon, and we have his picture on it, and then says he was a part of the extension, because that's how he came to Barton County. He worked for the extension. We got a hold of a construction company to help us lay it out and dig it for us, and it was probably a long process, and we finally finished it last year.
Well, when I was younger, I had a really bad trouble in school, and I knew when I got older I wanted to do something for the little kids that have trouble, that can't concentrate or anything like that, that actually needs one-on-one time with somebody that understands what they're going through.
We started the Teaching Youth program, and it's a twice-a-week tutoring program for anybody can come. We give them a healthy snack every day. We help them with their homework, and when they're done with all of that, and it usually takes a while for them to work on their homework because they have problems with it. And then after they're done with that, we play games that teach them respect and trust and other things like that, because it's supposed to be a progressive program. This year, we've started working with high schoolers as well, so they can come in and get free tutoring whenever they need it as well.
We started with the Brown Bag Buddy program. That was the original idea. In our elementary school, they would pack bags for kids on free and reduced lunch and send them home with them on Friday so they would have a meal over the weekend. And the second year I was in, our addition to the Brown Bag Buddy program was to add the community gardens. And so we added the community gardens, and the third phase and the fourth phase are kind of going on simultaneously, and that's construction of greenhouses at the elementary school, and then the farm to school, which I think is the best idea we've come up with. Local farmers just in the county, they grow their crops and they can sell their produce directly to the school. They don't have to go to the farmer's market or anything. They just sell directly to the school. They can get their money up front. The food goes straight to the students, so it's fresh and it's good. A lot of times it's better than what we've got. And the money that we give the farmers goes right back to planting more, and the cycle repeats itself. And it's a win-win for everybody. Farmers make a little bit of money and we get better food.
the changes that I've seen through the projects are some of the kids have trouble focusing in school, so they can focus more and enjoy school more, so they can enjoy their life.
Another thing is like with the backpack program, you see so many other businesses or more people getting involved in that, and which helps out a whole lot.
We won awards for Missouri Community Betterment, but it wasn't just our group, it was the whole community of Lamar.
It personally makes me feel better that I've helped somebody else in need.
And all the little kids, I've seen more improvement. I've heard from their teachers that they've improved a lot since they've been in YTY.
One personal story, actually, my little sister goes to YTY, and my mom was at nursing school, so we were home alone usually every day until like 5 o'clock when my dad got off. And I have seen an enormous attitude improvement in her direction, just because she's had not just me, big brother, but 2 other girls that are, older mentors that she can look up to.
We have this one little boy, he has severe ADHD and bipolar disorder. He has serious difficulties focusing. He didn't have someone to sit and help him with it, and if he has someone paying direct attention to him, he's capable of focusing on what needs to be done. And he's a smart kid. He is, and he loves it. And his grades were failing, and now he's up to being one of the better students in the class.
I've learned a great deal of patience and just sitting there and listening to the little kids when they have a problem or they need help. Like, I remember when it was really hard for me and I didn't have nobody to go to. It was hard on me, and it's like I can relate to them.
It just gives you that sense that you're actually doing good for someone else. You can actually lead somebody. You can help them with stuff that they don't know and use your knowledge and help them. Not necessarily tell them what to do, but you can give them guidance.
I've noticed that some little kids I talk to at the elementary school, they can focus more because they have food and they're not going hungry, and so they're able to focus, and so that means their grades are being able to get better. Hunger can affect the way you think. You can get really tired, you can get sick, and that's not going to help your education. So their education is definitely getting better by providing that food over the weekend.
I went and spoke in front of the Greenfield Chamber of Commerce and a couple other people at the opening of a new bank in town about what we were doing, and it covered everything that we were doing, and the community gardens were included in that. It was very well received. Very well received. We left with a good donation.
The program has definitely made me appreciate what I have, and it's also taught me that, I have extras to give away or find a way to give back to the community when they've helped you out. Because when I had to do community service, I was like, wow, I didn't know. I really personally didn't know that so many people are going hungry, and after I really got into it, and I was like, this is a good program, and I can give back.
Just the idea of giving back to the community, and with the Brown Bag Buddy program, knowing that our community youth isn't going hungry, and our friends and our friends' families, and they're getting support from the community.
We want to start up classes for adults and children, but we've already made a class for children about how to conserve money, when to save it, when to spend it, what you spend it on, what foods do you buy with it, what's the important stuff. And what now we want to do is we want to go with the parents and have classes that tell them what food they need to buy for their kids, how to cook it, what's the nutritious choice. A cheap, nutritious meal is what we want to teach them what to cook. We give them food, that solves the problem now, but food lasts a meal, knowledge lasts forever.
We're definitely working towards getting more people involved, because most teenagers, they're like, oh, it's little kids, no thanks, I don't want to deal with that. But we need more tutors. It's easier if we have like one tutor to each kid that can work with that kid when they need it instead of as a group.
We'd like to get farm to school really rolling. And then we'd also like to go ahead and put the greenhouses up.
What I hope happens with the greenhouses is that our community gets really involved into it, and just being able to go in there and plant what we need, and so that way people don't have to go and pay, you know, like the $3 for those like 4 tomatoes when we have like a whole bunch of tomatoes growing there that are, you know, for the community. Just seeing people actually using it and people going over there and helping, so that way they have a chance to give back as well.
Already has a reputation that we're the leaders of our generation.
We have the reputation of being good citizens and helping people, but we got to keep that standard up.
Okay, well, we've actually seen people passing down their leadership to us, and that's what we're trying to take over. And so we need to start early to pass it down and show them what we have done and show them how to do it.
We're going to be gone one of these days, and we're going to be moving on. We got to recruit kids to come back in so we can keep on helping the community.
For me, it feels more like, you know, a responsibility that I'm actually taking care of. It's my debt to the community. I was a kid once and people helped me, so, you know, it's just right that you give back what you've received. And probably the thing that I look forward to the most is less of a dropout percentage, because that seems to be a problem in high school. And I'd like to see those kids graduate that come in there. So long term, but someday.
I look forward to seeing all those smiling kids walking in, hugging us every day.
To see somebody that you know needed food and you see them on the street or whatever and you say, hey, I helped that kid. They're not hungry because I helped. And it's really good.
It's very gratifying work.
There's a quote that I kind of live by now since I went to a camp, and it was, I've always wondered why somebody didn't change that, but then I realized I was somebody. So if I want there to be a change, well, you kind of got to do it yourself. You got to be willing to take charge. So like with us and Hunger in the community, we have to be able to stand up and say, hey, this is our problem. We need to do this, and this is what we're going to do.
What I like best about Mohocola is that we get to help better our community and help the people out, because when we help the people out, it helps the whole town of Lamar.
The best thing for me is knowing that we are making a difference, that we aren't just being the normal teenager and going out and just hanging out with friends or playing video games or spending all the time on the internet. We are doing community service, helping.
I just say I think it's a great program. I like it. You know, community service, that sounds like a pain, but it's not. I mean, I was like, community service, no, you know, it's going to be so boring. And then I got into it and I'm like, wow, this is not what I thought it was going to be. It is really fun. You know, it's something I'd recommend getting involved in because it's a blast.